You're listening to the Multiverse Fancast, proud member of the Misfit Faction Media Network.
All right, then. On with the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Multiverse Fancast. Don't forget, if you guys are listening to us on the go, you can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, iHeartRadio, basically anywhere you get your podcasts. You can also find more of our content on our website, themisfitfaction.com. There you find links to not only this show, but some of our other shows like Cinematic Adventures and MF Uncensored. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Paul. With me in the studio today is Ronnie. Ronnie, how are you today?
I'm doing great because I'm in the studio.
I was about to say, it's a rare occurrence nowadays.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute. Maybe even two. I don't know what the kids are saying anymore.
No one knows except for the kids.
And they have some trouble sometimes. But we are back, and we're not going to have a very long episode for you because we already don't like what we're talking about. But we are doing our review for Marvel's latest Disney Plus show, Secret Invasion.
Yeah, we are.
And no secret how we're going to be feeling about it.
Yeah.
Extremely meh.
Meh is maybe even a little too generous.
A little bit. So what we're going to do is, first we'll go through some news, nothing too crazy, and we'll explain why in a second. But then we're going to talk a little bit of the non-spoiler stuff. We'll give you guys a spoiler warning, because the show came out, the series finale was, or season finale, we don't know if there's going to be a second season, came out at the time of recording about a week ago, so usually that gives people plenty of time to watch, but if you haven't yet, make sure you guys do. So, first and foremost, a little bit of unfortunate news. The writer's strike and actor strike is only gaining more momentum and more traction, and it's looking like a lot of movies are starting to push back. Spider-Verse has recently announced that they're pushing back. Kraven the Hunter, which we weren't particularly excited for anyway.
Yeah.
Morbius with animals. But a lot of these movies are announcing their pushback dates, and it's unfortunate. And a lot of the bigger companies are now looking for more AI-savvy individuals. Yeah, and we're going to talk about AI and the use of it in Secret Invasion.
Yep.
Scandal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But some other news, unfortunately, our next big superhero outing is supposed to be Blue Beetle. Now, I have not shied away from how excited I am for this movie. The trailers look great. The costume looks fantastic. I like the kid who's playing Jaime Reyes, from Cobra Kai, but it is not tracking to do exceptionally well.
No, I think the problem with it is the fact that superhero / comic movies in general lately have just bombed.
Yeah.
I think the only one that really hasn't, and I could be wrong, but it's the first one that comes to mind, is the Batman.
No, I'm going to say Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 did really well.
Yeah, okay.
But this movie has a budget of $120 million. And right now, in the United States and Canada, it's projected to earn $12 to $17 million in its opening weekend with a projected domestic of $27 to $55 million.
I don't agree with that.
I hope not.
I don't agree. The first number, no way.
Yeah.
I'm
hoping it does better. I'm trying to think what else is out and about, because like Barbenheimer's doing so
right?
stupid. I love it.
But by the time that Blue Beetle comes out, that hype is going to be gone. Because I mean Barbenheimer's been out for 2 weeks now, I believe.
No, it just came out.
Like
at the time of recording.
Okay. So, I don't know. I feel like it's got no competition that I can think of, at least, of movies that are coming out at the same time.
I think there's something that's coming out right before it. I'm trying to think. And I'm slowly looking this up, so if you want to keep talking.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm trying to think, too, and I mean, I don't really watch too much cable TV or anything like that to know about trailers coming or anything, but I mean, I still feel like 12 to 17 is way too low.
Very low.
I think based off of those predictions, it's gonna blow those predictions out of the water. I think. I mean, the only problem that's suffering, or the only challenge it has, I should say, is the fact that there's no big name. George Lopez is your biggest name.
Yeah, but I'll argue that the Cobra Kai kid's got a little bit of clout.
Yeah.
So we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
That's coming out August 2nd. The new animated one. Supposedly it's getting good reviews. So
August 2nd. That's a Wednesday.
I know, right?
That's summer for you, right?
Yeah, summer's weird. Meg 2: The Trench is coming out on the 4th.
Oh God.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to. I'm just looking at like the big things.
Yeah.
A lot of Netflix stuff coming out. A lot of like all that stuff. The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which is the Dracula movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Pod Generation. A lot of these I don't even know, man.
No.
And then
so basically, it's got no competition.
Well, the only things coming out on the same weekend are Strays, Blue Beetle, and Back on the Strip. So, yeah, the middle to end of August really
is a bunch of nothing.
A lot of nothing.
Yeah,
a whole lot of nothing. But
we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, like I said, it has to break, which I don't think it's going to. It's got to break like 140 million. I have not seen a lot of. I've seen a couple of TV spots for it now that we're getting closer, but. Yeah, it's gonna be.
I think it'll be close. I think it's one of those that the second weekend you'll see not a big. I think you might even get a bigger second weekend from this movie.
I hope so. I hope the word of mouth is enough that, like, from reading it online, like a lot of people are just kind of they're hating on it already. They're like, we already know what the entire movie's gonna be about. I was like, just the trailer alone, like the scene of him cutting the bus in half, and he's like, oh my god, a little Deadpool-ish, like. Deadpool, Iron Man, and being a teenager, and Spider-Man, all wrapped up into one.
Yeah,
I'll see it. I want to see 100%. It, and I'm curious to see what the reviews are going to be because we're not going to get the review embargo lift for at least 2 more weeks.
Yeah,
but that's neither here nor there. More bad DC news, unfortunately. So let us jump into now our non-spoiler thoughts about Secret Invasion and kind of how we feel about it. We'll take a quick break and then we'll go through character, scroll, character, plot, and then be done. So initial thoughts, Ronnie, go.
Okay.
Wildly okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, there were some really cool things about this and things that were really well done, but overall, this is something that you don't really need to see.
Yeah.
I think there's maybe 1, 2 things that watch it just to see this kind of thing. But even then, or just read about it. I think this is one of those, even though it is tied into the MCU, it doesn't really do anything for it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if it's even going to tie into the Marvels in any capacity.
It's supposed to. That's the thing. It's supposed to tie into the Marvels. It's supposed to tie into...
Which I'm oddly excited about. The Marvels, I'm kind of feeling it.
Yeah.
Because I think looking back on it, I really did like Miss Marvel.
Yeah. I'm still
mad about it. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. Oh man, this is just weird. It's just a weird show, and in all honesty, it's another example of you should have given us the Nick Fury movie and just done a movie rather than this.
Yeah, no, that was the thing with it too. Was this should have been a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it suffers.
Yeah, I'm just kind of I'm really just mad, and also I hate to say it, I'm over Sam Jackson's Nick Fury.
Yeah,
he's just tired, and I get it, and that's part of the character in this, but I don't know. I'm just I don't get excited to see Nick Fury anymore, which is sad.
Yeah,
but yeah. So we'll leave it at that. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we are doing our spoiler-filled thoughts on Marvel's Secret Invasion. But first, a quick break. Hey guys, it's Paul, and the Misfit Faction is looking for your help. We are trying to grow not only our network, but also grow our brands, and the best way to do that is if you guys are looking to start your very own podcast. Maybe you guys have been listening to us for a while. Maybe it's something you guys have always wanted to do, but you're not sure how to get started. If you go to podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys will get a month of free podcasting on us. That is a gift from us. So make sure if you guys are looking to start your own show, you reach out to us and go to podbean.com/misfitfaction. Also, maybe you guys have your own online business or service that you're always looking to grow, and advertising is a very big part of that. If you guys go to sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys can get $100 worth of free advertising, again, as a thank you from us to you guys. That's sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction. All right, we are back, and this is your official spoiler warning. We are going to be diving into Marvel's Secret Invasion. We are going to not hold anything back. So if you have not watched the show yet, maybe go do that. That'd probably be a good idea if you're listening to a podcast on it.
Or take what we said and don't watch it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But still listen to this part of the episode.
Yeah, fight the power. Don't fight against the establishment. Nobody tells you what to do. You do you. We both said it. That was weird. All right, so the premise is exceptionally simple with a group of Skrulls, renegade Skrulls.
Yes.
Because that was my big issue from Captain Marvel. They did the villain swap where the Kree were actually the full bad guys and the Skrulls were the quote-unquote good guys, or the victims in this case. So we find out that since Captain Marvel, They have not been able to find a new home for the Skrulls.
Yep.
They kind of got semi-abandoned, but the Skrulls were actually working with Nick Fury on Earth as agents. Like, they collected DNA from the Avengers battle during Endgame, which is crazy. And basically, they were promised, we're going to find a new planet for you, don't worry. And that hasn't happened yet. So now there's a renegade group of Skrulls that are there to make Earth the new Skrullos.
Yes.
All right, so let's start with Sam Jackson's Nick Fury. So we saw in Spider-Man No Way Home, right? No, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
The second one, that he had Talos and his wife were masquerading as Maria Hill and Nick Fury.
Yes.
Well, Nick Fury was up in space building Saber. All right.
Whatever that is.
Saber's the
we find out later.
Yeah, it's the opposite of Shield.
Yeah.
It's like the space protection.
The Green Lanterns.
Yeah. So we find out that like he's been away from Earth for so long because he's worn out and he's uncertain about his place in the world, and really it's because of the blip. He hasn't been the same since the blip. Now we also found out that he's not only married, but he's married to a Skrull.
Yes.
So what were your initial thoughts on finding out that aspect of Nick Fury's life?
All right. Stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, not that being married, but being married to a Skrull.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? What was the choice behind that? Is it to show compassion towards the Skrull? So that, or was he, like, when did he get married to the Skrull?
Yeah, it's
you know, like was he married before Captain Marvel, or did he meet after? Because he doesn't seem like the type that would marry a Skrull knowingly.
I'm gonna definitely say it was after the events of Captain Marvel, while he was working with all of them. But I think they wanted it to be a fake out almost, like where, oh my God, Nick Fury's wife is a Skrull, and then you're like,
Nick Fury must be one.
Oh, not even that, like, you know, because the whole point of Secret Invasion is the Skrulls infiltrating every facet, and that's why the comic books did a much better job with it, because they had access to all of their heroes.
Yes.
This had one Avenger in it, and that was Rhodey, and even that is being a little light on the Terran Avenger.
Yes.
And so
it's like sea-level Avenger.
It's not even that. Like, they still have not really established what's going on with the Avengers.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of their biggest faults at this point in the MCU, that the Avengers are just kind of, I mean, like, we'll make them again.
And like, they had, like, a slight nod to it. I remember in the first episode, they were like, we got some people you call, and Fury's like, no.
Yeah.
It's like,
there's nothing funnier than them trying to make excuses as to why they're, like, they don't call in.
Like, this could, I mean, it's one of those, this could have been dealt with in 2 seconds if you did call them. And then
I think the closest thing we really got to the Avengers was, you know, like Scott's monologue in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania.
Yeah.
Like, they mention him being an Avenger and all that stuff too, and like he says he's an Avenger, but we have no idea if the Avengers are still a thing. I think, let's see, the only active Avengers that we definitely know of, Professor Hulk, stupid, Falcon, now Captain America, but they haven't even established that yet, like if he's going to be leading the new team of Avengers. Spider-Man, and Rhodey.
Say Wanda?
No, she dead, remember? As far as we know. She turned bad and then died. Kind of, probably. Well,
Strange.
Doctor Strange, but I don't know if he was ever really an Avenger.
He's more Illuminati.
He's more Defender.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just a weird time, and Marvel's just, it's not catching anybody the same way anymore, which is, it's struggled since Endgame.
Yeah.
And to put so much focus on that with Nick Fury struggling since Endgame, that's probably the only thing I can relate to.
Yeah, right.
But I thought it was weird that his wife was a Skrull, and that he was like, oh yeah, I know. Like, I get it, like, you know, looking past the skin, and then obviously at the end, she's like, I'm going to be my true self. And he's like, yeah, makes out with her. Weird. But it just was a little much.
Yeah.
We got Ben Mendelsohn returning as Talos. Mm-hmm. I loved their interactions, the two of them, Fury and Talos. They had really good chemistry. It's always really weird when they're in full makeup talking. Yeah. I don't know how much of it is CGI at this point and how much of it is actual practical makeup, but it always looks weird when they're talking because it's like very rubbery, like almost like Planet of the Apes, the old school. But what did you think about Talos?
I think he might have been like the bright spot. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, I wasn't a fan of Fury. I think Talos, however you pronounce it, because I feel like throughout the show I heard it like 2 or 3 different times.
Yeah,
different ways. But to me, I think he's kind of the bright spot, the one of the few good things about this. I would love to see more of him.
Unfortunately, it does not look like we are going to because, again, spoilers, he does die. I believe like episode 3 or 4. He has a heroic death and all that stuff. But like it was... He was a great character. I did really enjoy him. He definitely stood out in the original Captain Marvel, and obviously became kind of a fan favorite. So it was really cool to have him back. And, you know, obviously he has stakes now. He's lost his wife. His daughter's on the bad guys team now.
Yep.
So, you know, he lost his faith in Fury too.
Yeah.
But he's still, like, his friend. So let's see. Going down the list, we have Kingsley Ben-Adir as Gravik. So Gravik was... He was... Like, we get it.
Yeah.
I understand. And obviously he is a very typical... He's like they promoted him as having like all these different layers, but really he was just a bad guy.
Yeah.
Who wanted to rule.
Yeah.
You know, and
he was an orphan that basically, you know, Fury promised it to help him out. He promised a new Earth to really just help out Gravik. And I think there's that animosity towards, you know, Fury because of that and how he let him down after he said he wouldn't and all this. And that's kind of why he's the one that basically starts the rebellion.
which is weird. It makes you wonder how many Skrulls are actually there, because it seems like there's so many.
They said at one point millions.
Yeah,
So.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have his right-hand man, Killian Scott, as Pagan. Second in commands. He was there.
Yeah.
A lot of these characters were just there.
Yes.
And we're just kind of going down the cast list at this point. I did enjoy the scene where like he meets with all the Skrull commanders type thing, and he basically takes over a Skrull command. Because it seems like they did have a hierarchy on Earth.
Yeah.
And it was Talos at one point. Like, he was the one in charge. And then he got ousted.
Yeah.
And now Gravik took over. But you don't really see too much of the aftermath of that. It's more just a lot of talking. Like, all right, we're going to launch this bomb. Are we, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think this show would have been much better as just a standard spy thriller. Like, almost in the vein of Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I think doing it it's like an actual spy noir type thing where there's a mystery to solve with this would have been the better. That's just my own personal opinion. Because unfortunately, also, here's the thing. Sam Jackson's old. Like, he is not a young guy anymore. You saw it in Captain Marvel when they did the de-aging, and like he tried to do like physical stuff. It's hard to watch.
Oh, yeah.
He's 74.
Yeah, he's up there.
Like, having him be in charge of... Like,
anything? No.
having him do physical motion is hard to watch. Like, he could shoot, like, all that, and, like, I like him standing dramatically in his trench coat and all that. Which, again, they did the trench coat moment where he puts it on in the eye patch, and I just did not feel a thing.
No.
I was like, oh, okay.
His look was better with just the glasses with the scar showing and the beard and stuff like that. Which
is even stranger because, like, he's dead. He's got 2 different graves. But, like, he's just kind of... Like, people know he's actually still alive. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
It's very strange. Like, and again, it's things that happened movies and movies and movies ago that they just don't ever talk about. Let's see. I'm going to skip some of these people. I don't even know. Dermot Mulroney as President Ritten. Now, this is our first time really seeing the political side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, we got it a little bit when Civil War rolled around, but this is the first time that we're actually getting, like, straight up... This is the president of the United States, and this is how he's reacting. Yeah. And they went against expectation. I was really expecting a very similar vein to X-Men The Last Stand, where at the end the president's like, I like this guy. Like, mutants and humans are cool, best friends.
Because I'm a mutant.
No, he's not.
Well, no.
No, that would have been funny. But, but in this, like, he gets saved, finds out that Rhodey's been a Skrull the whole time, and then he's like, war on Skrulls. Yeah. What did you think about the War on Skrulls thing at the end?
I feel like there's more to it. Like, I feel like there's more to Ritten. You know, where I don't know if he's a Skrull or if he's someone else that could be a shapeshifter or something like that. Just due to the fact that, you know, we saw there was that mention of War on Skrulls, and then all of a sudden... You know, you had freaking the purge happening. Yeah. Where people are just going around killing people because they don't know who's a Skrull, who's not because of the
that last scene was dark.
Yeah.
Like Like this show was a little bit darker than their typical Marvel stuff, but like that was intense.
Yeah.
I know, commentary on the world, whatever, we know, but it was, unfortunately, I think it's a storyline that we're never going to see get played out.
Yeah.
There is going to be a passing line to the Kree Skrull Peace Summit was successful in the Marvels at this point. That they're not getting. I don't think they're getting a season 2. I don't think that we're going to be seeing a lot of these storylines play out.
I don't think it ever was going to get a season 2.
Probably not. But I know that it does lead into the Marvels and Armor Wars and all these things. So speaking of Armor Wars, let's talk about Colonel James Rhodes, also known as not Colonel James Rhodes.
What do you mean?
Whoa. It's actually a female Skrull, too, which is even funnier. That adds a lot of questions and a lot of layers.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good change.
Yeah.
It was a good surprise, like, because obviously one of the main characters had to be a Skrull.
Yeah.
Having it be Rhodey was a good choice, but there's a lot of questions about it. Like, the biggest question is, when did it happen? Mm-hmm. Now, the big theory, and this was quote-unquote confirmed by the director, so basically when he was told that somebody had to be a Skrull, the only rules he got from Marvel about Rhodey was that he has to not be able to walk at the end, and it has to lead into Armor Wars in some capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you think about Rhodey being a Skrull?
Honestly, I liked it because I think he was probably the one we were least thinking of being a Skrull.
That's fair.
You know, I think a lot of people are probably going towards, Fury.
Yeah.
Being a Skrull. So
when do you think Rhodey was taken as and replaced as a Skrull?
That's tough. My first thought was right after the crash in Civil War.
See, that's what the big theory was, and that's what the director's saying.
Yeah, like right after, I think at some point when he's learning to walk, right? Because, you have that scene where he's trying to walk and he falls down and everything. So I don't know if it was at some point then, but then to me, I don't think he would have reacted the same way in Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, even when he gets trapped under the debris in Endgame, he's still paralyzed.
Yeah.
Like, he can't use his legs. So, for me, because they're saying it's because of his leg braces and because he's in the hospital gown.
Yeah.
And I would like to point out that he could have gone to the hospital at any point. Yeah. He could have been going for a routine checkup.
Yep.
Maybe they'll talk about it in Armor Wars exactly when it happened. I do agree. It does not make sense based on how he reacted to everything. Like, he was crying about Tony, like, all these things. Like, he was holding Happy Hogan. Like, it was just a lot. And considering, as a Skrull, he started to lose his composure really quick after we found out he was a Skrull.
Yeah.
The audience found out anyway. Yes. And it is just... But, producer Melanie figured it out right away because she was like, he called him Nick. When they were having that discussion at the bar and they're having a drink, he calls him Nick. And nobody calls Fury
Nick.
Yeah.
I wonder if Fury knew.
I think he figured it out pretty quick.
Because I feel like I noticed him calling him Nick, but I didn't think of it that way.
Producer Melanie did right away.
Yeah.
Immediately.
So I wonder if, Fury knew. Because I feel like Fury did have a reaction to when he did get called Nick. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
Sad. Yeah. But anyway, Emilia Clarke as Gaia. What did you think? I like Emilia Clarke. I really hope she finds success somewhere. But because she did Terminator right after Game of Thrones, and she tried and like this, and just I think Game of Thrones is always going to just be her crowning achievement.
That's what you know her at.
Yeah.
But I kind of sort of liked the storyline with Gaia. Mm-hmm. But I think the one thing that is missing from this show in general is no character development.
Yeah, a lot of it.
You got it, but with no evidence, no background to how they went from point A to point B.
It's a big time frame.
Yeah,
it's literally almost 30 years from Captain Marvel to this time period. I think even more with the blip, but they did a good job with Talos and Gaia. They had great chemistry, the two actors. They did a great job when they were interacting with each other. I feel like there was an episode missing, in all honesty. But apparently the two of them colluded with each other to all right, well, this is what happened between our characters. This is why we feel this way. They work together to kind of create their own backstories. But I feel like a good show, you shouldn't have to.
Yeah, right.
But she is now the most powerful being in existence.
Yeah. She got the, what did they call it? The
Harvest.
Yes.
Yeah. So they introduced the concept of super Skrulls in this, and in the beginning, there's only like 4 or 5 characters that they take from. Groot, I forget some of the Extremists. I'm trying to think what else they had. Like only like a couple, like a handful of things that they were able to actually do, which is fine. It worked out. Gaia gets the Extremists first because it helps you heal, and it was fun to see that back from Iron Man 3. But then her and I did like the switcheroo because they committed to it, like him limping and coughing and taking the pills, and then you find out it's Gaia. It made sense towards the end.
Yes.
Like it kind of, you kind of figure that one out. But it was still a good idea. And the two of them had a very good but very short and very late in the series fight scene.
Yeah.
What did you think about the super duper mega super Skrulls?
I mean, again, great concept. I would have liked to see more of the fight because, like, again, to me, it's almost like if you take, Hulk against Thanos or something like that, like that fight is not lasting 2 seconds,
Right?
Like that's kind of the equivalent of this fight in a way where it should have lasted.
Actually, Hulk versus Thanos was only a couple of minutes.
Fair. But you get what I'm saying, though, right? Like it's a fight that should last a long time, and in this, it seemed like I hit you, you hit me, I hit you, you're dead. It
was cool to like see them changing into the different like Drax's arm and the Hulk, and we got to see kind of how strong the Hulk actually is when I think he decks her and she goes flying, or vice versa, like flying.
Yeah,
that's the Hulk. Ironically, the Super Skrull was a better Hulk than we got in World War and all that. That's another thing that I don't think we're ever going to get real follow up to. She-Hulk and all that.
Yeah.
Who knows though? Nobody knows at this point what's going on because everything's crazy. Everything's weird, but it's weird that they're leaving arguably the most powerful character in existence.
Yeah,
they're gonna nerf her the next time we see her. It's gonna be like, it was so powerful that it burned through. I can only use one power at a time, and only for a limited time. They'll find ways. Yeah. They'll Peter Petrelli her at some point.
Which is smart because again, you can't have like the OP. Like again, it's almost like the Superman. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you can't just have Superman, helping you out every single time, and that's basically the similar like equivalency right here.
Yeah. All right. We also have Charlene Woodward as Vara / Priscilla, who plays Nick Fury's wife. I did enjoy her when they finally he confronted her about what's going on. That is this whose form are you even in? Like something you probably should have asked really early on.
Yeah.
And you find out that it was a woman that she was taking care of. Like that. All right, cool, yeah. But otherwise, she's just kind of there.
She's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had her badass moment with Gaia in the house, and that was pretty much it. Christopher McDonald as
Shooter McGavin,
FXN news host. Yeah, we all know. Some of the other fun ones, we have Kobe Smulders as Maria Hill. I will say fun because she died in the first episode.
Yeah.
And she kept getting special guest star things.
Yeah, I noticed that too, and I was like, is she coming back a lot?
I was really hoping that it was going to be I really hoped that it was just going to be like a fake out, but I guess not. It's kind of a shame.
Oh, yeah.
I liked the two of them together. They made sense together.
Yes.
But I guess she knew about it. Kobe Smulders knew coming in that this was going to happen, and she signed off. But whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Martin Freeman is Everett Ross. That was fun to see him as a Skrull and that whole opening scene. That was what I wanted the show to be.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that they make these shows and there's a much better premise that you could just do.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the biggest main cast. There's a lot of other small names, but we're not going to get too crazy into it because we're already tired of the show. Now let's talk about the title sequence.
Yeah.
Big controversy with the title sequence because it was created using AI. People were less than thrilled about it. It looked stupid.
Yep.
It was one of the worst opening sequences they could have ever done. Yeah. And then people thought it was very poor timing given that this was also during the 2023 Writers Guild of America strike.
So that's just coincidental.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all know
this was done months ago.
Again, this was done well before any talks about a possible strike.
Mm-hmm. So
you can't link the two. What do you expect them to be like? Oh, this comes out in 2 days. Oh, let's wipe the title card and make a new one in 2 days.
In all honesty, I think they could have done a very simple title, like a title sequence.
Just use the one you already have.
I don't like for me. They shouldn't have used because that was one of the reasons that prompted the strike to begin with. Yeah. Using AI to take away from people that do the actual work.
Yes.
And I will say that the show suffered for it. Like we watched the opening sequence once and we're like, ew, what is this? Before we even knew that it was all AI, and it was just.
I did the same thing because I think the first episode, I don't think you can skip the intro.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I can't remember, but then I remember like every other one, like it had the little box skip intro, and I'd be like, click. Mm-hmm. Again, A, to save time.
Yeah.
And B, it was stupid. Like it seemed it had nothing to do with the show.
Yeah, it just
like usually like it has like some like fun little things to incorporate things from the show, and this was just like silhouettes.
Yeah, like, it was just kind of meh. But let's do a Star City rating for Secret Invasion. You want to go first?
I'll go first. I give this 2.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2.5. Yeah. Also. It's completely middle of the road. Like we still look forward to watching it for the most part. But
the fight sequences in it are pretty good. Like especially the one in the deli. Like in the back in like the cooler area, like that whole like little sequence.
We forgot a whole character. Yeah, oh my God, what are you letting me do? God,
I noticed that before, but I was like,
because I was about to say she's one of the best.
Yeah,
Olivia Colman is Sonya Falsworth. I think it's because I wanted to save her for the end.
Yeah,
I really liked her.
Oh yeah,
she was a highlight of the show.
Yes.
Every scene she was in, she kind of stole with that chipper kind of I'm still gonna murder you energy. And like the torture scene was. I don't want to say it was good. That's a weird statement.
It was good. It was good. It was a cool scene. Yeah.
She's the only character that I would like to see more of from this show.
Oh, which I'm sure we'll get. Because, again,
I don't think so. It was really... Like, they set her up with Gaia at the end, and I don't know what kind of follow-up we're getting with this.
I feel like because her and Talos were, like, the best things about the show. Mm-hmm. Along with, like, the fight sequences that we did get. Even though there were, like, few of them or whatever. But, again, I think this, to me... This show, it started off strong. Mm-hmm. I did enjoy the first episode a lot. The second episode was okay, and then it kind of wavered and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna give this a 2.5. I was hoping for a lot more than what we got, and there's just so much more that is leave to be desired for this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think that's fair. We have no fan feedback Friday this week. That's my fault, guys. I dropped the ball. So if you want to voice your complaints, make sure you guys check out our Facebook page, the Multiverse Fancast, or the MF Uncensored, the Misfit Faction, whatever you guys want. We're on all the social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. Just type in the Misfit Faction.
It's not Twitter anymore.
It's still Twitter. It's not changed yet on my phone. So make sure you guys check us out. And if you guys want more of our content, our website, themisfitfaction.com. We appreciate all you guys for all your support there. I know it's been a little lackluster, but maybe there'll be a full review of this show on there at some point. Who knows?
Who
knows? Not me. My work schedule has been wild, and that's part of the reason we've been a little inconsistent with everything. Yeah. But we want to thank you guys for listening. As always, I'm Paul.
I'm Ronnie.
And we'll be back in a flash.
See ya.